Abdullah Haron was arrested in May 1969. After more than 3 months, he was found dead in a cell at the Maitland police station. The family was told the cause of death was a heart attack after he fell down a flight of stairs. No one was made to answer for his passing. But evidence presented by experts in the new inquest saw specialists testify that the 27 bruises and fractured rib found on the Imam's body indicated repeated blunt force trauma. On the 9th of October, the family hopes the court will deliver some closure.
We want the victims of the families that's still waiting for justice to be served on their cases. We want to give them hope that they shouldn't give up, because we've been waiting 54 years. They called it a cold case, but we never gave up hope. So God willing, we believe God will be on our side, that that the judgment will be in our favor.
Haron was the editor of the Muslim news publication. Shortly before his detention, his own writings in the paper shifted from addressing moral conduct for the faithful. His involvement in the struggle for justice became more evident. Following his detention, the paper he co-founded did not take a stand or report on his capture by police. After his death, the paper again neglected to report on it. The current editor of the publication, now known as Muslim Views, says the stance the paper took back then was lacking.
When Imam was detained, if Muslim News had to pick up the story at that time, the inquest that took place in the 70s, early 70s, the first inquest I don't think would have got away with that much if the story of Imam's detention and his family, if people had to speak to the family, yes, it would have been a totally different outcome, but certainly it would have shaped the narrative differently.
A week after Haron's death, 2 staff members put out a special, independently published issue of the paper. Only a week later, the official paper wrote a story. Said says the press freedom won by the sacrifices of many journalists who were killed, detained and tortured must be protected.
They were journalists at the height of apartheid who offered those sacrifices, and the freedoms that we enjoy as journalists to speak truth to power really is due to their sacrifices, and we need to acknowledge that by jealously, as you put it, safeguarding it and standing up to anyone who tries to silence the media.
Renowned journalist and author Zubaida Jaffer was detained and tortured twice in her career as a journalist. She remembers attending the funeral procession of Imam Haron as a girl of 11. That moment in history had a great impact on her. Later in life, she would pursue justice by reporting on the atrocities of apartheid. Today, she says the challenges are different and the media must play its role in building a cohesive society.
We cannot just focus on the bleakness and the negativity. We have to tell the inspirational stories. And I travel around the country and I meet people all over doing marvelous things. And so the challenge for us now is how to get that balance right. How not to speak our country down, but also at the same time to say we're not happy with this that's going on. So it's quite a tussle, but we can't bombard people day in and day out with all these negativities and expect the consequences not to be grave.
Views is still published today as an independent paper, more than half a century after Imam Haron played his part in establishing it. Mariska Botha, SABC News, Cape Town.